Well, guys, I tried to pretend it was spring a little early. Got the haircut. Not brave enough to take the beard off yet, but it's coming. I'm in the shop today working on some swarm traps. I just thought I'd do a quick rundown on them. Shot this video yesterday. Went in to edit it and try to get it on YouTube, and I realized my grandson, 1-year-old grandson, had left his thumbprint in the middle of the lens on the camera, so it was kind of fish-eyed and couldn't really see stuff. So hopefully this one will turn out a little better. Anyway, I'm making some swarm traps. Gonna get them done before swarm season, even though Rodney has already caught a swarm because he lives in endless summer, so it's warm and things are happening there. So luckily he got his done in time. I believe these are similar to his. So the style that I've gone with is a tall, skinny. It'll hold 6 frames really tight, or get 5 in there and leave some open space. What the bees are looking for when they swarm is more room, because they just left a really tight spot. So it doesn't hurt to have extra space in there for them to get excited about. This box is actually deep enough to hold 10 frames or better, 12, if there was a cleat down below, but I want that space to be empty. If you wanted to do this and put some frames down below, maybe you're putting it in a place that you're not going to be able to get back to check often enough, and they may get real established in there and you just soon not have it full of wonky comb. So you want to get a few more frames in it. You could make this box a little bit longer and screw on a cleat. Now you'd have to take the top cleat off in order to get the frames in the bottom, but it wouldn't be that big a deal to do it and take them out. So you guys can keep that in mind as you think about building this style. I've got my dimensions over here. Let's see if we can get them well enough on the camera. So I need 2 sides that are 18¼ by 21½, and I'm building these sides out of 1/2 inch because I had a bunch of it. My ends, I need 2 of those, are 9 3/8 by 21½, and I'm using 3/4 because I had it. It's old form boards. The bottom, 1 each, is 9 3/8 by 21½, by whatever thickness you want that to be, because it doesn't pertain to the build. And it can be a little shorter. There's some lip that sticks out on it here, and that's completely variable as long as you're covering the bottom. For the top, we need 1 10 7/8 by 21½, and again, the thickness doesn't matter on that. If you go to 3/4 inch sides, or you decide to make the box a little longer, you're going to need to adjust the size of this lid. Then we're going to need some cleats. The cleats for the top, we have 2 of them 10 7/8 by 1.5 by 3/4, and 2 of them 20 inches by 1.5 by 3/4. We need some side cleats, and those, I've got 2 of them at 16 by 1.5 by 1.5. They don't have to be 16, they can be shorter. Those side cleats are going to go on the side of the box here, so that there's a lot of adjustment to those. You can make them out of whatever you want, but you do need them to be thick enough so that when your lid goes on, it doesn't hit whatever you're hanging your box by. So here I've got a stick going up with a hole in the top so that you can hang it. Some of these on that cleat, I put a bevel on it so I can mount a board on the tree with a bevel too, and it will just hang in it. Sometimes you have different opportunities to as ways to mount it to a tree. I used 1/2 inch on the sides and things as much as I could, trying to keep the weight down, because again, you're going to have this up over your head, hanging it somewhere, and then it's going to be full of bees. So the lighter you can make them, the better. I've just got one hole in the entrance, small hole. I'll have a flapper on that so I can close it when I go to pull them down. So the assembly fashion on this, I'm not going to go through the whole build. I'm not going to, you know, make you watch me rip things on the table saw and glue things together, because if you don't know how to do that, you're not ready to build one of these. So my ends go over my sides to hold it together. I've dadoed out the ends. You can fill that if you want. I've got the lids pretty tight, so they actually cover that crack up, and it's not going to be a place for bees to escape much. So that's up to you whether you fill those or not. These traps aren't going to stay out in the weather all year long like your boxes do. They're only going to be out in the spring and then back in and under cover, hopefully, and taken care of. So they don't need to be built to quite the same degree. I'll get paint on them and camouflage them. So the lids was the same way. I put the rim together first, with the end across and the 20 inches in between them, and then put some glue on it and put the plywood on top, and stapled it down. The other thing, we'll haul this one over here. So this is all new wood. Some of it's even got some, you know, concrete on it from being old form boards. But I've got this pot going here with some old comb. It was old moldy comb. It wasn't in good shape. Kind of nasty. There was some pollen in it. Normally I'm going to throw that in my wax melter and, you know, let just the wax run off. But here I kind of want some of the slum gum. If that's in there, that's all cocoons. It's got propolis and some stuff. There's even some honey down in the bottom of this thing, I think. All of that just smells like bees. So I'm trying to cover up the new smell of the box and, you know, get it to smell more like bees. Some of the slum gum I took out, I put in a egg carton over here, and then a guy can just rip those in half and light it for fire starter. So there's even use for the old slum gum if you want to take the time and do it. So I've got a small roller, the same one I use for rolling frames, and I'm just going to get it nasty and roll it in the box. And like I say, I want some of those old cocoons in there. I want a little bit of that honey that's in there. All of that is going to help them think that bees have lived here before, which is going to make them more apt to want to do it again. It's just part of the attractant to it. Once you've had a swarm trap for a few years, you've had bees in and out of them, they're in great shape. Or if you're using some old equipment, you know, that has bee smell, and there'll be frames in here that have some bee smell, but you know, there's a lot of new wood smell too, so might as well cover all that up. And this will get a chance to air out some too before I put them out. We've probably got a good 3 weeks before we need to worry about swarms. So anyway, you guys don't need to watch me do the whole thing. Just thought I'd kind of get this out there, let you know what I'm doing, and that I'm actually on track for something this year. Anyhow, hope you guys have a good swarm trapping season.